make two knives as similar to this drawing as possible and as similar to each other as possible. Bootleg flatter, 10 out of 10, would recommend. And a presto changeout. So I've transferred the template into chalk format. So the idea is, out of this billet that we just flashed, I should be able to get two knives shaped like this, full tang. As long as I get the blank to fit within the chalk lines, we should be good to go. And I got a couple of marks here just to help guide me somewhere in between an 1/8 inch and a 1/4 inch blade thickness. And then during the grinding process, I'll get it to about an 1/8 inch. Alright, so I'm going to thin it out a little bit, and we can get started forming the blade. Alrighty, so there's where we have gotten. I'd like to punch the holes tonight, but looks like the laws of thermodynamics are saying no. So we'll switch over to the other tank in the morning, and we will get those holes in. Alrighty, next day, and I've decided that I actually want to give drilling one more try. Let's give it a go. So that was unnervingly easy. It turns out, if you use your tools correctly, they actually work as intended. So I still used an all-purpose drill bit. That didn't change. The big thing was the drill speed. I brought it down from 1300 RPM to 470. Just a slow drill speed and a constant pressure, and you get these slinky things coming out, and it's great. And shout out to Emily and Mitch if you're watching. I remember having a similar conversation over the holidays. So this guy's ready for the grinder, and this guy is also ready for the grinder. I'm gonna clear off the area where it's sheared off there, and then we can get forging, hopefully, a very similar knife. Alright, so for these two I'm grinding in the whole bevel. I did no forging of the bevel, as you might have noticed. I'm hoping this will give me some much needed bevel grinding practice. So I tried scribing in kind of a bootleg fashion with the calipers and some Sharpies, as you just saw, and worked out pretty good. Wouldn't go so far as to call it scribing, more like scribbling, but it worked. So I'll throw on a fresh 36 grit and we'll see what we can do. Alright, so the whole last part was just a quick little sequence. I made this quick and dirty graver to chip away my touch mark. I ended up grinding through in a few places, so this way, hopefully after they go through the forge, it'll get that scaling back and it'll kind of look like it was originally supposed to. And I actually have an idea for making a better touch mark using gravers, so stay tuned, subscribe if you haven't. More on that coming soon. Back to the knives. Alright, so this one is getting filed perfectly. This one still lets me bite. The difference is this one I made sure to get just right over the line into non-magnetic. This one I left way too hot when I quenched, so I'm going to renormalize it and put it through the quench again, but at a lower temperature. Ready, second time. Yay! We have two hard knives that are straight as an arrow. I'm happy. Right, heat treat's complete. I'm going to go ahead and grind the scale off and grind the rest of the bevels in. Then I'm going to go ahead and try hand sanding for the first time, see how that goes. Then all that'll be left is to throw some handles on and sharpen them up. Now it's on to hand sanding. I'm gonna figure out a way to do it upstairs because I'm currently freezing. So I finished grinding these guys on a worn down 60 grit belt. Not sure what grit we're going to end up with, but I'm pretty much just going to keep sanding until I like how they look. Stop judging. Go. So I finished sanding the blades to 600 grit. Use aluminum oxide sandpaper when you're hand sanding knives. I use cheapo silicon carbide paper from eBay. and I'm sure it would work great for most things, but not for hardened tool steel. I mean, you're going to chew through abrasive anyway, but like, just don't make it any harder than you need to. So unfortunately, I did end up grinding through my touch marks again. So that last part you saw me doing was using the stippling engraver to kind of just poke some dots into the shape of my touch mark there. So aesthetically, that's probably the worst part on these blades, but next time I'll know better, and I'm thinking I'll switch up how I do the touch mark in the future, so we'll figure that out some other time. So we're getting close. Just gonna turn this piece of hickory into 2 pairs of handle scales, and cut off a couple pieces of brass for some pins, and we should be good to go for epoxy. Alright, so I did a stupid, and neither of these scales are going to work. I drew the template on both scales using the same side of the handle. That means when I try to line up the holes, the scales line up like that. So we're going to need to redo that. So we got pretty close to the original pattern. This one, the handle kind of got away from me there a little bit. The sore spot on both of them is definitely the touch mark, but I got plans to fix that in the future. But for proof of concept knives, I couldn't be happier. Apparently I have a bad habit of letting the bevel reach much higher than I'd like. You can see my initial idea was to have the bevel go about halfway up the blade. I'm going to try to work on that. And also in future models, I think I'm going to leave the top portion, this portion here, not the bevel, but leave all this in the ricasso, forged finished. These are nice, and I really like how they turned out. But I'd like to, at least leave some evidence that they were forged and not completely stock removal. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed watching me make these guys, make sure to check out the series where I made this guy. I'll leave a link in the sky there. The steel from this knife also came from the same SNOW PLOW, and the brass I actually melted down myself, so that's a fun one. If you enjoyed my videos, please do make sure to... Yeah, we've already done this game. Alright, please subscribe. Okay, on a serious note, the channel's been growing a lot faster than usual lately, and I only have you guys to thank for that. So thank you very much, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.